Hey, and welcome. This is the Ben Shapiro Show Sunday special. I'm excited to be joined today by Neil Degrasse Tyson. His brand new book is Letters from an Astrophysicist. He, of course, also hosts Star Radio, which is a podcast, and his famous show Cosmos on National Geographic. Neil, thanks so much for stopping by. So why don't we start with, for folks who don't actually know your background, what exactly is your background? How did you get from where you were to being who you are?
I just liked learning about the universe ever since I was 9 years old. It just happened to me. It's not like I was seeking it out. I went to the Bronx High School of Science, which, if I may, counts 8 Nobel laureates among its graduates, which equals the country of Spain. And that served my interest like really, really well. And went out to college, majored in physics, have a PhD in astrophysics, and people look up and just wonder, you know, where do we fit in this universe? Everyone's looked up, right? You know, we're one of the few animals that's completely comfortable sleeping on our backs. Just think about that. They're not worried that some other animal is going to eat their guts out while they're asleep. So I wondered whether in the earliest times, and we sleep at night, so we sleep on your back and at night, and if you wake up in the middle of the night, the sky is there. So I just wonder whether curiosity about the night sky is something that runs deep in our DNA.
In your book, you deal a lot with the question of meaning. And I have a lot of friends who are scientists, and I've always found this a little bit puzzling on a materialistic level. Why should there be meaning in agglomerations of atoms or in evolutionarily beneficial adaptations? Well, where's the meaning to be found in that?
What's interesting about your set of questions there is that they're in at least half a dozen letters written to me. You are not alone in that sentiment. Personally, I don't look for meaning. Maybe if you live in the city and you look up, you just see buildings. But between the buildings, there's sky, and it's part of what we are as humans. Yeah. So let me adjust something you said in your question. It implies that meaning is something out there. That, oh, there's the meaning. It's behind the chair, okay, or under a rock, or behind a tree. For me, meaning is something you create. So for me, meaning is what you might do for yourself. So for me, as an academic, I care that I learn something every day. If a day goes by and I don't learn something, that's a wasted day. And ideally, you should get your mind blown at least once a week. And so for me, that is where I get, that is how I establish and derive meaning in my life.
So, I mean, maybe I should redefine the terms. Maybe meaning, I should be using the word purpose, which is word. I totally agree. I guess the question remains that when you look to finding a purpose, why should we be looking to the random assortment of guts or the evolutionarily beneficial firing of neurons for purpose? And how does that relate to questions like morality or the moral good?
So I think it's not obvious. However, consider that the atoms in your body were manufactured in the cores of stars. That is not where I'm turning if I got to find meaning in life.
It is a beautiful idea and a beautiful sentiment. I know Michael Shermer's written a lot about this sort of belief. But in any case,
this is the Department of Truth, or in Nazi Germany.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Didn't they actually have a Bureau of Propaganda? Literally called
led by
that?
Goebbels, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think they even called it. So America's first Republican president, who you know that is, who was that?
America's first Republican president was Lincoln.
Lincoln, exactly. 1863. Said, we have to get into that. So the National Academy of Sciences has one job, and that is to report on what is objectively true in the scientific fields in ways that can inform policy at the executive branch and in the legislative branch. That's their job. Now, you can do whatever you want with your policy because it's not rationalia. Mm-hmm. You still have lawmakers who are responsive to a constituency, to lobbyists and the like. And I've tried to think of what the future of sports would be in the world of a gender spectrum. And it may be, you don't specify whether it's a male or female sport. You just take measurements of what your hormonal balances are. And so you compete based on your. I mean, this is thought I had. I mean, I don't know.
The
But
WNBA won't be in business for very long if that's the case. I guess the area where it does come up in a non-sports area.
Yeah, tell me, 'cause I don't know.
So it would be, you talk in your book about the education of children and teaching children about science. And right
Yes.
now, children are being taught about the quote-unquote gender spectrum, which is not scientifically based. That is a theory-based idea.
whoa, I never knew that. No,
Meaning
wait, hold on. People express themselves on a spectrum. So you learn that.
That's
I don't.
that's a social
Yeah, sure.
point, not a scientific point.
It's
Meaning we express ourselves
hold on.
based in different languages. Is that something you teach in science class, or is that something that you teach when you're teaching language?
maybe that remains to be determined, but it is a real fact about real society.
Well, of course, nobody's denying that people identify how they want to identify.
So
the question is, what is the relationship of that to biology? Meaning that the argument is made that trans women are women, for example. And what that seems to mean is that trans women are identical to women. Now, if people want to say trans women are not biological women, obviously that is the case. But people don't seem to want to say that.